Hello everyone. This is again Dr. Mohammad Saim Khan, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Aligarh Muslim University, and we are in this week 4 of this business tourism course. And this is another video which is titled Event Management-2. So in the last video, we had discussed the concepts of event management and some other things also. And prior to that, we had discussed about the relationship between event and tourism industry. Also, what are the several impacts of events. And next, we'll move on and we'll discuss event, how to coordinate event and how to uh, style the event styling and all. So without any further ado, let us start with this particular video. So this is event management 2, and these will be the contents. Like we'll start with the 5 C's of event management, then we move towards tips for successful event management and event marketing, and lastly we'll conclude. All right. So 5 C's, let us talk about the 5 C's of event management. Event management is an exciting and challenging field that requires a wide range of skills and knowledge to execute a successful event. Whether you are planning a corporate conference, a music festival, or a wedding, certain key elements must be considered to ensure everything runs smoothly. So, what are the 5 C's of event management? That's we are gonna see. You can see in this slide: concept, coordination, control, culmination, and closeout. Just like what you have heard, like 4 P's of marketing and 7 P's of marketing, we have 5 C's of event management. Moving further, the first one is concept. To plan a successful event, the first important step is to establish its concept. Okay, right? Which includes the overall theme, purpose, and objectives of the event. It is essential to have a clear understanding of what you want to achieve with your events, as it will guide all your planning decisions, right? So this conceptualization is very important. It should be there since the very beginning. Whatever theming you have to done and whatever purpose is there, that should be very clear. You can consider the greatest concepts ever held to get an idea of how you want your event to make attendees feel. Even if it's not a concept, whatever event it is, but how do you want your your attendees to feel? What kind of vibes do you want them to have in your particular event? So to create lasting memories, think about the reason for planning the event. Why you have planned the event? Okay, this was the reason. Whether it is to entertain, fundraise, or to teach a specific subject, it can be anything. After determining the purpose of the event, identify the target audience who will benefit the most from attending it, right? Uh, Students, young people, or older people, or women, or office going people, or school going children, whatever. This will help you determine the necessary components such as speakers, performances, activities, and catering. And finally, choose the best venue and date for the event. So, this is the very first C of event management, which talks about the concept. Next C, as I earlier told you, is coordination. So, the second step is coordination, which involves organizing the logistics of the event, such as booking a venue, arranging catering and transportation, and hiring staff. A solid plan with a timeline should be created to ensure that everything runs smoothly. Other aspects to consider include budget, itinerary, entertainment, event technology, equipment, and security. It is important to pay attention to the finer details and have contingency plans in place. While it is easy to focus on the fun parts of planning, such as sourcing entertainment and food, it is essential to prioritize the fundamentals for a successful event. So the second C is coordination. Moving on to the third C is the 5 C's of event management. It's control. Control is the third step of event management, and it entails managing and directing the event as a whole. It is very critical to understand the roles and responsibilities of everyone involved, including your staff, the vendors, volunteers, and it is again critical to have a contingency plan in place in case of unforeseen circumstances. Okay? It is critical to maintain control in order to avoid wasting time and resources on things that are unrelated to the event's purpose. Making a timeline and assigning specific goals and responsibilities can be beneficial. It is also critical to manage relationships with suppliers and vendors, which includes regular communication and ensuring that everyone is aware of expectations, goals, and contingency plans. Communication is key to avoiding problems. Yes, communication is very, very, very important at each and every step of planning an event and managing an event. Next, C is culmination. So this is the day of the event itself. So it's the most crucial time when you and your team must be well prepared and organized. All the planning, all the preparations are geared towards this day. Everything is like earlier I said the word D-Day. So this is the D-Day. So it's vital to have a capable team that can handle any unforeseen challenges and ensure the smooth running of the event. However, the role of the event manager does not conclude on this day. In fact, it's just the beginning. We have discussed this thing also shortly in short previously. So during the culmination phase, it's important to communicate with suppliers, vendors, and staff, monitor timelines and security, and make sure everything is set up on time, right? Just like in the control phase, the event manager needs to steer the ship in the right direction and be ready to implement contingency plans if anything goes wrong. It's inevitable that something unexpected will happen, but how well you have planned and how quickly you can respond to the issues will ultimately determine the success of the event. And the last C of the 5 C's is close out. The final stage of event management is called close out, and it involves a variety of activities following the event. What are these activities? Well, these activities include data analysis, collecting feedback from attendees and stakeholders, and assessing the event's overall success. The feedback received will be used to improve future event management skills. Okay. Following the event, it's also critical to settle payments and terminate contracts with vendors, caterers, and speakers. Now everything is done. So we are done. Our contracts are done. Now we'll meet for some other event, but now this is the time for closeout. It is critical to provide feedback to the event team and resolve any issues that may arise. It is also important to get feedback from attendees, vendors, caterers, and performers. Okay, now I just want to give you some tips for successful event management. Planning an event can be a stressful process. It not just can be, it is a stressful process and can often leave event organizers feeling overwhelmed. Okay, so these tips will help you to master the fine art of planning a memorable and effective event. What are the tips? Well, number one, begin early. Okay, begin planning as soon as you possibly can. So, if your event is a large event, you should realistically begin planning it 4 to 6 months in advance. Yep, prior to that, you have to start planning for it. Smaller events need at least 1 month to plan. It doesn't mean that if it's a smaller event, you can have it in like 5 to 6 days. No, that's not going to happen. You need to have at least 1 month, prior to the event for planning it. To keep the final run on the event flowing smoothly, try to ensure that all vendor contracts are completed a few weeks before the event. Tip number two, remember, remain flexible, right? So, over the course of planning the event, things are going to change. Whether it is event times, locations, or even the type of event you are hosting, you need to ensure that you are flexible and can meet the changing demands. Sometimes the speaker is not available on a particular venue. Sometimes there's a demand, from the party to host the event in an open area. Sometimes there's a demand that there's a weather forecast. We cannot host this event in an open area. We need somewhere covered. So if it's rain, so we can have that covered area to conduct our event. So that is why you should remain flexible. The more flexible you are, the more options you have, the more contingency plans you have, the better you are going to manage the event. And once you kind of maintain your image in the market, so it kind of flows everywhere. People have this thing that, okay, this event management company or this group, they are giving fantastic services. So remaining flexible is very important if you want to successfully manage your event. Number three, negotiate. Despite what many vendors will tell you, everything is negotiable. Remember that with every event, there will be unforeseen costs. So try to negotiate as low a price as you can, because there are unforeseen costs which you had not taken into account till now. You have classified your cost, you have made budgets and everything, but at the very last moment there will be a cost popping out. Okay, so determine your budget before meeting a vendor and offer to pay 5 to 10% lower than this figure. Your vendor may put up a fight, but ultimately they want to win your business. And tip number 4, assign responsibilities. Okay, break up the various elements of the event into sections like registration, catering, transport, and assign a section to each member of your team. For example, a team is closely monitoring and looking at the registrations. Then there's a team who is solely responsible for catering. Then there are people who are working for transport. Like, for example, when we have some conferences or seminars in the university. So what we do, we always make teams, registration team, who's responsible for registration. They'll set up a registration desk just outside the venue of the conference. Then there is a catering team who is totally involved with food and all such arrangements on the day of the event. Then there's a team which is involved with transport, like when you have to receive your guests from the airport, from the railway station, from the bus stop, and taking them to the guest house, then bringing them to the event, all such things. So as they are solely responsible for their own section, they will be much more glued into small detail changes. Tip number 5, create a shared document. With the cloud comes many benefits, right? I think you will agree with this. And collaborating with your team couldn't be easier. So in order to keep everyone on the same page, create a central manual or document that details everything to do with the what? With the event, uh, including vendor contracts, attendee information, and the floor plan. With a shared document, everything can refer back to it if they are unsure, and your entire team can spot if something is out of place. Right? Tip number 6, have a backup plan. I was talking about contingencies earlier. So, you know, it is rare that an event is ever pulled off without at least one issue. Not possible. There will be multiple issues. An item may not turn up, or an important person may arrive late. Okay, assess the most important assets your event will have and create a backup for each. If a number of issues arise in the future, triage them and decide whether an alternative can be found or if it should be cut entirely from the event. Tip number 7, do a run through. So, about 2 weeks before the event, do a run through of the entire event process. Organize a meeting with your team and mentally walk through everything from initial setup to the follow up process. Often complications are highlighted at these meetings and you will have time to correct them. A few days before event a few days before the event, organize another run through the event. And when you are organizing these kind of runs, every single thing comes into place. Right? Your team is mentally prepared when you are doing a run through like twice before the event. So they are completely mentally prepared. They know what should be the next step, what is the next step, what is required now, what is going to happen next. So when they are aware of this, so on the D-Day, on the day of the event, it becomes much easier for them to walk those steps which they already had. Next step is photograph everything. Pictures paint 1,000 words, and posting positive photos online is an excellent way to demonstrate the success of your event. So, if you have the budget, hire a professional photographer. They will be more clued into the kinds of photos that are required and will approach you for specifics. Ask for a number of shots to ensure you cover all bases. What bases? Like a snap of the full room and photos of event branding and lots of photos of attendees enjoying themselves. So when you photograph everything and you post these photos online, so they demonstrate the success of your event, how fantastically the event was done. Even sometimes photos, if taken properly, speaks more than the success. Your event, although success, but the kind of success these photographs are showing, well, they are something else. Okay, tip number 9. Tip number 9 is get online. An event is the perfect way to up your social media presence. Create a custom hashtag for your event on Twitter and encourage your followers to tweet about it. Right? Similarly, create an event on Facebook and encourage your followers to tag the event in relevant posts. Upload your photos once the event is over and actively encourage users to tag themselves. So, what will happen? That there will be a conversation going on, continuously going on. Like even after your event is done, everything is done, everybody has gone home, all the payments have been cleared, but your event is still talked about. And I think this is the last step, follow up immediately. So once the event is over, many organizers fall into a common pitfall. What is that? Yes, taking a break. Now, while the logistics may be done, it is important to be proactive in following up with the attendees, be it over email or on social media, to demonstrate the success of the event. Okay, so these were the tips for successful event management. I think you might have get it. Now we'll move towards event marketing. What is event marketing? Let us see. how event marketing is being done. So, few steps, few points again I'll discuss with respect to marketing of events. Number one, create an event marketing strategy. So, event promotion is an essential aspect of event management. If no one knows about you, how will they register, right? So, for a desirable attendee count, you have to put your head around creating the right event marketing strategy. Event marketing strategy helps create, pre-event excitement. Yes, pre-event excitement. The event is about to happen, so there should be excitement. So when people are talking about it, they are discussing about it, they are excited about it. So event marketing strategies help, in creating such kind of excitements. Showcase your brand again. There's a brand you want to showcase and give attendees a reason to attend your event. Create event landing pages. What you have next to do. So in today's time, developing a fully branded website for a successful event is crucial. And I think it has become a norm. And if you're not following it, then I think you're lagging behind, because even in the universities, when we are having conferences, large size conferences, international conferences, so fully websites are being built, around these conferences. Everything is updated on those websites, and after the conference, those websites kind of, after a small period of time, they are done with it and they kind of just shut it down. So your website helps entice visitors to attend your events. Also, it helps your attendees understand what the event is all about, because everything is there on the website. Like, you're creating things and you are telling your visitors that whosoever is coming and what will be the attendance and how we are going to program it and every such thing. You can add all the exciting content on your event's branded landing page to give attendees a sneak peek into your upcoming event. You can add promotional videos, speakers' bio, and content on a custom and duly branded landing page. Uh, Next is market on social networks. We had already discussed this thing. So you do not need to spend tons of money on your event promotion, right? With social media channels, you can promote your event for free. Different social media channels and social media tools let you engage with your audience in creative ways. You can create an event page on Facebook where registrants can connect before and after the event. We had just talked about it. You can also create a community on LinkedIn with Event Community Builder and allow attendees to share experience pre, during, and post event. Okay, make sure to use these event planning tools to the fullest. And LinkedIn is a fantastical tool if you want to connect professionally, if you want to show your presence professionally. So creating some event community on LinkedIn is a great thing to do. Next, speaker promotion. So remember, it's a complex part. Speaker promotion is a more complex part of event management. Event marketing can be done in many ways, and one such way is to invite a well-known speaker of your industry to share their wisdom at your event. You can create social tiles, social posts for your social media event marketing strategies, where you can put up pictures of your speakers to entice attendees to attend your event, like on social media and even physically, like having an event in the university. We are putting up uh, designations and photos of people coming for a particular event. Like HR of a company, or VP of a company, things like these. Another way is to let the speaker market your event on their social media profiles. The speaker who is coming to attend your event, let them market it on their social media profiles and websites. You can request the speaker to share a tweet or a post on their social profile about speaking at your event. They can even share a link to your event's landing page. This speaker promotion will drive more registration to your event. You cannot even expect, but more such registrations will start incoming. And the last one is event listing websites. There are many ways to promote your event without risking your fortune. And one way to market your event for free is by promoting on event listing websites. Event listing websites publish and promote upcoming events, conferences, and workshops. And there are tons of event listing websites that can promote your event for free. All you have to do is submit your event details, and the listing sites will allow users to browse through the event's date, time, location, and other details in their comprehensive promotional post. So this is all about event marketing. Now, to conclude, in this particular video, we started with the 5 C's of event management. That what are the 5 C's? Concept and coordination and control and culmination and closeout. What are they and what are their importance and everything? Next, we moved on to the tips for successful event management. So if you successfully want to manage your events, some tips were being discussed. There were 10 in total, if I remember. Yeah. And lastly, the concept of event marketing was so not exactly the concept, but how marketing for an event should be done. This was discussed in the very end. So these are the references for this particular content. So thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll meet in the next video. Have a nice day.